Right. So is my screen is visible? Is it fine, right? Hello?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay,
It's
done.
visible.
Yes, visible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, right. So let me start with today's session. This is a Power BI training course. So this course will be starting for, it will be run for 2 months. Mostly you will be getting the more than 40 hours of 40 to 45 hours of the class regarding the Power BI. So we have completed, we have started this Power BI coaching on April 2024. So right from the launch of today, this is the 14th batch. We have completed the 13th batch, 13 batches. And this batch is specially dedicated for, to mention, this is for weekend batch. Okay. So daily we'll be having Saturday and Sunday, the classes. This batch will be exclusively for the weekend because I have encountered many people they are facing difficulties to join in the morning session. So usually my batch starts from 6 to 7 or 5 to 6 in the morning because most of the students who are joining my course, they are from employees. So as the batches, it is this batch, the weekday batch is going to complete by next week. Most probably we have 10 or 12 more classes. So on the request of many students, they have requested for weekend batch for Saturday and Sunday. So as for the majority of the session, we have kept the timing as morning 6 to 8, but it is flexible based upon once we get the confirmation from the students, and we may shift this batch to 7 to 9 o'clock. Okay, morning 7 to 9. This will be 2 hours. So in a week, we'll be getting like 4 hours of the classes. Okay. So mostly in the 40 hours, we'll be completing this Power BI training course. And coming to my introductions, I'm Janardhan Patipaka. I'm a specialist data engineer. Coming to my teaching experience, I have I have more than 10 plus years of experience in the teaching, where I started for completing my graduation. I have been in the teaching. Apart from not only the software courses, I have started my career have an experience in teaching for the NEET students and have worked for the teaching of biology and zoology in the Sri Chaitanya for students where there was MSET. And apart from that, I have taught for the drug inspector training course. So I have trained for drug inspector in ES pharma educations like government pharmacist examinations. And apart from that, I have tutored for group 2 and group 1 students for general studies and also polity and economy. And apart from it's been last 4 years, I have started for training this software because I am from coming to my educational background. I am from a non-technical where I have graduated. I'm a B Pharma with I completed my M Pharmacy in Naipur Mohali. So from that, I shifted my career. It's been 4.5 years. I shifted my career from non-technical to technical. So it's been 4.5 years. I've been training for the software training courses. So this is a small introduction about me. So this is our first batch. Not only for this, I have traveled all of it for Guntur, Rajahmundry, Ahmedabad, Chandigarh, and also in the different platforms where I taught went for the guest lectures for many institutes. Where I have not only in the software field, I have taught in different sector. It may be related to the science or it may be related to the different competitive examinations. Okay. Now, coming to today's, actually today, this is a brief introduction about me and what exactly most of the people you have joined this session for understanding exactly Power BI. Okay. So you might be have a simple question, like most of the people joining this session, maybe some are the freshers who completed their graduation. So recently I got a call from the students where they have completed in 2024, recent passed out. So they are learning, they are willing to learn some tools which are demand in the market. And I have a different other set of audience also, where they are working in some non-IT background and they are trying to shift career into IT sector. So they may be into their voice process or chat process, or they may be into some type of manual testing. Some people may into different sectors like into the market research, but they are planning to shift their career into this IT sector. And have encountered many people's most of the people have spent a lot of time in preparing for the government examinations, and due to some circumstances, they are not able to crack the examinations. So they are also trying to fill their career gap and transform their career into IT. And still, there are where other students they are into the different within the IT, or it may be they have learned some courses like some of the course in the IT, but they are not getting that much opportunity. So they are trying to use this Power BI as add-on tool so that they can try with the openings which are there in the Power BI. Okay. So to answer all these questions, let me start beginning from the basics. And before joining any course, the first thing that you need to understand, it's not like that I am conducting the demo that you are joining the course. You need to understand where is this, there is a demand for the tool in this particular market, the first question. So after completing the course, what is the next point? Whether we have the job opportunities after taking this 2 months of the course. And the third question comes to your mind. So after this, completing this particular Power BI course, so what are the different areas? So what are the different, what are the companies they are providing these job opportunities? And from where, what profiles I can apply in the Naukri or somewhere in LinkedIn, how I can contact to the different person. And one more thing is Power BI is only essential to get the job in the market. So with the Power BI, so once I get the job in the Power BI in the coming days, so what are that as a time frame, like within 1 or 2 years, what are the skill set that I can add to the Power BI so that I can get some good hike, like decent hike, more than 100 or 150, 80% hike. So these are the things that you need to understand. It's not blindly like somebody saying to learn the Power BI. So just you are enrolling for the course, and after completing the course, if you're not able to have some idea about what is my next process, so it will become very hard for everyone. So one more thing to understand exactly, to make the tool to understand about what is Power BI. So a simple in the layman language I can explain. Say in the world we have lot of data. In the present market, when you look at the present market, everywhere, any organizations, it may be a small organizations, it may be a large organization, they are solely depending upon the data for taking any business decision to improve their business process. Back end, they are depending upon the data. So, right, you may think like you cannot name any sector which are not depend upon the data. Okay, fine. We light from if you search any for policy on the internet, if you search for any site for plot in the internet, so backend they are taking your email ID, phone, and immediately you are getting the call. So backend, whatever the browsing that you are doing in the internet, whatever the searches you are doing in the internet, so whatever in the places that you can visit some store, they will ask, they will get your detail, and some way they will contact you. So everything at the back end now, the world, especially in India, everything has become more digitalization. You can name like when compared to the advanced countries like US, so still the digital payments or e-payments is more penetrated in India. We are depending upon, every organization is depending upon the data. Now the thing is, we have a lot of data in the market. So all the companies are looking, yes, hey, they are looking for some tool, then they will they need to use that particular data and represent that data in the form of some visuals, or represents in the data in the form of some beautiful graphs, and represent the data in the form of some meaningful visuals. They are looking for a tool. So the tool that we are going to learn the Power BI is, they will connect to the data which is given by the client. From the data, you will try to create some graphs, some visuals, some reports, and share it to the client. And the client will use that information which you have provided in the form of some graphics, very dynamic visuals. So within one graph, by using some drill down and drill through options, we can build 20 visuals in one single space in the Power BI report. Okay. It's like we can represent year-wise data. Within the same visual, we can represent quarter-wise data, month-wise data, day-wise data, weekend data. So such a dynamic visuals you can create in the report, and you can share it to the client. So the client will use that information, because many students are joined, like suppose if I capture the data, suppose think I joined in any admissions, like 1 lakh admissions has taken by any some institute. So if you provide the data in the Excel, like it will become very hard for him to go through that 100 rows and each of some 1 lakh rows. So if you represent in that in the form of graph, suppose the admissions are coming from Hyderabad, Chennai, or Gujarat something. So if you print it, if you represent in the form of some bar chart or pie chart, it will becomes very easy for the person to analyze. In the simple way, this Power BI, when you get a job as a Power BI developer, you will install Power BI desktop tool into your local system. You will connect to the data which is given by the client. From the data, you will create some reports and you will share it to the client. So that is the tool you are going to use. And for in the Power BI, in the coming 40 or 50, more than sometimes my sessions will extend about 50 hours of the classes. In this 50 hour the classes, we will be discussing about the Power BI end to end. And one more thing, a person who is not having some basic knowledge, even he is from non-technical background, even if you don't have an idea of Excel, if is from don't have an idea of how to handle the computer, but at the end of the course, the person will able to build the reports, and that the confidence that I can give you at the end of this completion of the course. Now I explain the background of this Power BI. So first, why the Power BI has lot of demand in the market? Because when you look at the data in the global data, initially, when you look at 2020, see this data is given in the form of data bytes. Okay, 1 zettabyte is equal to this much bytes of the data is there. It is hard to read this data. In the 2010, 2011, 12, that most of the organizations they are went for some file-based system. Everything they used to mention in the form of files, and everything they used to mention in the form of some file-based system is there. But after 2019, when COVID pandemic came into the picture, now everything has gone for the digitalization. Most of the peoples are opting for the digitalization. Now the companies are everything has become to digitalization. They are capturing the data online. Okay, for everything you have some apps. For everything they are capturing the information. So previously, when you go for the passport or book the Tatkal ticket, or when you go for booking your cinema ticket, previously they used to stand in the lot of line for everything. So everything that was a manual system was there. But now within sitting in the home, you can get your home loan, you can get your personal loan. Both such type of digitalization has been improved in the recent years, because of in the 2019 the world has experienced the COVID pandemic. Now, when you look at this in the 2019, see the data is generating very rapidly from 2020, 25. Now, in the 2024 to the 2025, more than 178 this zettabytes of the data has been generated. Now, as long as the data is generated, now the organizations are looking how to handle this data and how to get some meaningful information from the data. And they are looking for a tool which is a high demand tool in the market, which can analyze this data and they can create the reports which is useful for their business. Okay, so that's why as long as the demand for the data never decrease in the coming years, you may be surprised it may cross more than 200 terabytes. So the demand for the data will never comes down. In the same way, a tool which efficiently works on this data and creates some meaningful insights will have definitely in the demanding have demand in the market. Now in the Power BI, so you can see why you can see yes, why sir that why the data is generating huge, like more than 200 gigabyte, and in the 2010 even the data is of 1 2 or more than 5 or 10 terabytes of the zettabytes of the data is there. Now, this the only thing that I can do the presence of huge mobile apps. When you open the app stores, you can have more than millions, 3.5 millions of Android apps are available. And now the smartphones are came into the picture. When the smartphone has penetrated the market, you cannot name any persons who are looking residing at the remote villages. They have the mobile phone. Yeah. So in India, we have more than 5.48 billions of mobile phone users in the world. And as when you have the mobile, you will browse for something. At back end, it will generate some of the data. Now, one more thing, the use of social media came into the existence. Every person, nobody, the persons who are attending the demo, you cannot name any person. Everyone at least have 1 2 or 3 this social media sites installed in your. You might be having Facebook. You might have been having the LinkedIn if you are looking for a job. You are having the WhatsApp to have the communication. So you have some Twitter. So due to the use of this social media has becoming it is daily practice for them. Most of the people are hourly spending on internet is also increasing. Previously, if you are going to get the internet when you are studying in 10th class, you need to provide like for 1 hour, they will be charging 20 rupees for them. So there will be some internet cafes are there. But now when the Geo has came into the market, so now you are getting internet at very low cost we are getting, and we are getting unlimited of the data. And mobile, the smartphone also within the 7 or 8 or 10,000, you are getting a smartphone. Due to this and the social media, the presence of these apps, due to this, the browsing on the internet is increasing, and back end it is generating lot of amount of the data. And companies are leveraging this data. Companies are using this data in order to get the insights. So every organization, it may be from retail, it may be from banking, finance, insurance, healthcare, automobile, manufacturing. Every organization is depending upon the data in order to expand their business. Now think before use, like this is the surprising things that you can know. So more than for every new information, 1.7 megabytes of new information is created every second. So this you can say that in every second, how many internet users are available in online at this point of the time. And you are surprising to see that 90% of the data, right from the beginning of the internet, the 90% of the data is generated in the last 2 years itself, 2023 to 24. So because as the population is growing and hourly spending on internet is increasing, mobile users are getting more, smartphones are penetrated in the market. That means the data is growing huge. Okay, so every searches, like every second 40,000 people are searching on Google Plus for different information. Okay, so more than 3.7 billions of humans are there on internet. And coming to the YouTube, so as the internet charges are coming at very low rate, so most of the people coming to you have a most of the people are searching for everything. You are getting the information on the YouTube for every small. If you want to repair something, if you want for cooking videos, if you want to search anything, you are laying up on the YouTube. So back end it is capturing the data. And you are for Twitter also, more than 450,000 tweets are done on every minute. So why I'm saying this information is this is that much penetration of the data is being generated at the back end. That's why any person who is working on the data side, that's why for the data side, why they are paying that much salary for data engineers, for data analysts. Okay, those are the persons who are having good coding language, because there is the market, and this market is evergreen market, because we are adapted to the environment and the lifestyle where the data is becoming a part and parcel for us. So it is a right time for a person who shift into the data side. I'm not saying we are into the visualization. For data cleaning, data engineer, they will be work on the data before making the visualization. They want to convert the data into organized format. So the data engineers are also have demand in the market. Now you can say, sir, cyber security, why it is having the demand? Now world is depending upon the data. You are generating the data. Now companies should secure their data, right? So much of the hacking is taking place. They are hacking from the government website, and recent they are stealing the data from the Aadhaar card from the government sites. In the Ames hospital, you can see they are capturing the sensitive information from the big chain hospitals. So that's why they want to secure their data. So if the data for visualization is there, but the data security also demand in the market. So that means for data engineers, for data visualization report builders, for data security purpose. So the person who is working on the data side has demand in the market. I'm not saying that only Power BI has demand in the market. So this is the backend reason that you need to understand. Everybody has Instagram. So how many Instagram users post more than 46,000 photos for every minute? So that's why there is a lot of demand in the market for the data, and companies are looking for a tool which will use this data and create that with the help, connect with this data and create this data in the form of some visuals where a normal person who is having no technical knowledge can understand by looking at that graph. So this thing that will be doing by the Power BI. Okay. Now you can see why you are saying, like we are saying the social media from 2024, this was a breakthrough. From 2024, Facebook, 2005 yet that YouTube, Twitter 2006, WhatsApp 2019, Instagram 2010, Ola, Google Pay. See, you might have for everything you are depending upon the Google transaction. From 2018 and 2015, where Google Pay and Phone Pay came into the existence. So backend for this, what you are doing, you are giving your phone numbers. For material, you are giving your mobile Gmail ID. So most of the transactions like digitalization has been increased at back end. That's why that was the rise in active spending on social media, and the digitalization leads to tremendous increase in the data nowadays. So this is the reason, right? From 2009, phone, and you cannot name any person who don't have Google Pay and Phone Pay in your mobile, and most of them will have even Google Pay and Phone Pay installed them. So everything, this digitalization, due to this digitalization, the data is generated at the back end. Now, when you ask a Power BI in technical terms, we have seen for the broad introduction, I want to understand why you want to learn the tools. First, if I ask Power BI, in BI, what is meant by BI, that what you need to understand. BI means business intelligence. So first you need to understand the what business intelligence, then only you can understand what exactly the Power BI. Because Power BI, business intelligence means nothing but it is some process. So by using some tools, or by using methods, or by using some techniques. So here tool why I'm highlighting, because we are using one tool called as Power BI. So by using some tools, what you will do in the business intelligence process, you will collect the data. Suppose right now a client is came, like it is from some Amazon client or some think at that hospital chain pharmacy, some client is there. So he will give the data to you. First thing is you will collect the data, right, given by the client. Next step, what you will do, you will try to analyze the data. So how many columns are there, how many tables are there, what type of information they are providing us. Then you will analyze the data. Third step, you will transform the data. Transform means they may give the data in some unorganized format. Okay, suppose if I ask for you, the persons who are sitting attending the class, if I ask me give your pin code or mobile number, you may give a different name. Some will give full name. Some you give, suppose my name is like I am Patipaka Janardhan. I will give, I may write P Janardhan or simply Janardhan, or simply I will, if I ask you to give mobile number, some will keep as phone number, some will type as mobile number, some will type as contact number, some will type MOB dot number, some will type as just M dot NM number. So like that, we will give some type of different data that you need to transform the data. If you work on Power BI, you should make it very uniform. So for pin code, if you are coding as P.C, for everything, for every records, you need to maintain that as pin code P.C only. So like that, you will transform the data. And business intelligence means by using some tools, you will collect the data, you will analyze the data, you will transform the data. And after cleaning, transform means you will clean the data. From that, what you will do, you will create some meaningful information. What is meant by meaningful information? From the data you will collect and you will create some visuals. Okay, some visuals or report. Those are called as meaningful information. That means the information that you have created, it should have some value to the client. It should have some meaning to the client so that the client can use that information. So suppose if you create some meaningful information by building some graphs, what you will do? So you have a download a Power BI, okay, as a Power BI developer, you have download Power BI, you have collect the data. That means client will give the data, you will collect the data, you have analyzed and you have transformed data, clean the data. From that, you have created some visuals or reports, and that reports again to whom you will share, to the same client who have provided you data. And what the client will do with the data, he will improve his business process, or we will optimize his business performance, or it will take what are the, suppose if you provided some region wise information, suppose you are given these are my sales in different region. So you have created some graphs, which region is performing better, in each region which category is performing better, in each category in which subcategory products are performing better, in subcategory which product is performing better, which region is, which headquarter is not performing better. So that type of information you have provided in the form of some meaningful information, that in the form of visuals, and you have shared to the client. Now client will look at that information and I will take the business decision, whether I want to improve my business, whether I want to optimize business. If these products are not performing well, so what are my strategies that I can improve my business? If this particular out of 4 regions, if this region is not performing well, so what are the my next step to improve my business in that particular region? So those type of the business decisions will be taken by the client. So this entire process is called as business intelligence. Nothing but by using some tools, we will collect with the data, you will analyze the data, you will transform the data. From the data, you will create some meaningful information. That meaningful information in the form of graphs, you will share to the client. The client will take some business process to improve his business. This whole process is called as business intelligence. And all this, the terminology what we have discussed, every part, each for collecting, analyzing, transforming, for building the visuals, we will depending upon the tool. That tool is called as Power BI. As the Power BI will perform the entire process of business intelligence. That's why if anybody in the technical background, what is Power BI, they will say it is a business intelligence tool. It is a BI tool, they will tell. So what is meant by BI tool? And after the completing the demo, everyone should understand what is business intelligence. Okay, business intelligence Power BI. That means with the help of tool, you will collect some of the data, you will transform the data. From that, you will create the visuals, and client will use that information to improve this business. Now, when you ask some more technological persons, because at the end of the class from tomorrow, I will try to give what exactly business intelligence. And first 3 hours after completing this, first 3 classes will be free. Listen to first 3 classes, and if you like the classes only, try to enroll the course. As a first day, I cannot enter directly into install the Power BI, connecting the data, and explaining creating the visuals, because first you need to understand about Power BI, why we want to learn the Power BI. You need to understand what is business intelligence, and if you like the demo and go through the free classes that you provided from the next day, then you take your decision whether to enroll the course. Okay. Now, coming back to the technicality, Power BI, when somebody asks you, say Power BI, they will say it is a business intelligence software. BI means nothing but business intelligence. So if you ask some more people, they will say, what is Power BI? Few people, we call it as ETL software. What is meant by ETL software? You need to understand, most of the people might be using, I'm ETL developer, ETL. This word, the person who looking working in some software side, this is a common terminology that they can understand. ETL. The ETL means the process. The letter E stands for extract. Extract means connecting to the data. That means you have a data in somewhat Excel. That try to extract means connecting the data from Excel into your Power BI desktop. So that is called E stands for extract. Okay. Suppose when a client has given the data, so you will install Power BI desktop tool. First step, you will extract the data, connect to the data. That is called as E, extract. T means transform. Transform means you will not directly depend upon the data provided by the client, and directly you will not build the visuals. You should analyze the data, whether the data is correct, whether the columns are in right format, whether I want to make any changes, whether the data is clean, whether the data is in structured format. If you're not the cleaner, you need to clean the data. If it is unstructured format, you will convert it into structured data, uniform data. That changes that you make in the data, we call T transfer, stands for transform. Then you have extracted and you have cleaned the data. Cleaning means if the data is unstructured format, or it is in not unified format, or it is not in the regular format, you will convert into a unified format or structured format, that we call it as transform. Then L stands for load. Yes, you are fine. Yes, data transformation is fine. Then you will load the data into your Power BI desktop. So this process, ETL process in the Power BI, there is one part called as one software within the Power BI. We'll call it as Power Query. That I will explain in the coming class. Remember that word called as Power Query. Power Query is the inbuilt software which is present in the Power BI, that it will perform this ETL process. That's why some people will call it as Power BI as ETL software. Now, after converting, connecting, loading the data, what is the next step you will do? You will analyze the data. How you will analyze the data analysis? That means suppose the data is how the organization will store the data. 90% of organization, 100%, they will store the data in some tables, and you will load the tables. After that, what you will do, you will analyze the tables. What are the tables are there, and within the tables, what are the columns are there? So what are the different type of the tables that you have loaded? How I can link the tables, how I can build the relationship between the tables. Okay, what are the common IDs which are present in the tables? What are the common sharing information which is there in the table? You will start analyzing the data. That process we call it as data analysis. One software load. For this data analysis process, you have in the Power BI, we call it as Power Pivot. In the Power Pivot, we will do the data modeling. We will write some formulas called as DAX. So data modeling is nothing but once the tables are loaded, so you need to, suppose I have table 1 and table 2. By using these two tables, I want to build a visual. I want to create a visual. So if I want to create a visual by taking the data from table 1 and table 2, first I need to establish the relationship between these two tables. Okay. If I have table 1 and table 2, I want to build a visual by using these two tables. First, I need to establish the relationship between the tables. How you can establish relationship? What is the common what is the common element present in this table, and what is the common element in present table? And with that common element, we will link the tables. So those type of data analysis, those type of the data modeling, you will be discussing in the this data analysis you will be doing in the Power BI. For doing this, we will have Power Pivot. So that's why with the help of Power Pivot, we will do the data analysis. That's why some people are calling this Power BI as data analysis software. Now, if you ask someone, they will call them it as visualization software. Why? Because with the help of Power BI, once I will show the Power BI desktop at the end, you have more than 30 or 40, 50 visuals are there. You can create decomposition tree, you can create heat maps, you can create pie chart, bar chart, scattered chart, you can create funnel chart, you can create some KPIs, you can create some line chart, you can create ribbon chart, you can create waterfall chart. More than 30 or 40 different type of the visuals you can create by using the Power BI, and you can represent the data in the form of visuals. That's why they are calling the Power BI as visualization software. And if you attend the interview, what are the visualization tool you are aware of? They will ask. So Power BI is one of the visualization tool, because with the help of the Power BI, finally you will build the visuals. So for building the visualization in the Power BI, we have a inbuilt software called as Power View. With the help of Power View, you will try to create the visuals. That's why the Power BI, we call it as it is a visualization software. Now, after the visuals, group of the resemble visuals, you will clutter, you will combine those visuals and you will try to create the reports from that. So suppose if I have suppose you have joined an HR team. HR team has given the data related total their HR data has given to you. First, what you will do, you will analyze the data. From that, you will try to create a report, right? From the data, HR report, you will create the visuals. How many joined, how many are shortlisted for L1, how many are shortlisted for L2, what is the date of their joining, so what is the feedback of the interview. So for that, all that you will create the visuals, and finally from that you will create the reports, right? Finally you should create the report. So with the help of Power BI, we'll able to create the reports at the, that's why this Power BI, we call it as reporting software. They will call as which reporting tool that you are aware of. Power BI is a reporting software. And some people will call it as data analytics software. See, this ETL, data analysis, visualization, reporting, all these are comes under data analytics. So simply they are also with the help of you, you do the data analytics. That's why Power BI is called as data analytics software. So all these are comes under the business intelligence. See, the transformation, data analysis, visualizations, reports, data analytics, entire all this process comes under the business intelligence only. See, for this business intelligence tools, analyze, transformation, visuals, all these are comes under the business intelligence process, right? So simply they are calling us Power BI as business intelligence software. Okay. Due to the presence of Power Query, they are calling us ETL software. In the Power BI, you have Power Pivot. That's why they are calling it data analysis software. In the Power BI, you have Power View. That's why they are calling as visualization software. In the Power View, with the help of Power BI, you are creating the reports. They are calling as reporting software. So with the help of this Power BI, you do the data analytics. They are calling us data analytics software. All these are the collection comes under the business intelligence. They are calling us business intelligence software. If the terminology is different, but everything, that's the only simple thing is you will connect to the data and you will build the visuals, you will create the reports and you will show it to the client. So this is called as Power BI. And one more thing, why you may ask me, sir, what are there you are saying about the visuals? You create the visuals by Excel. Also, I created my graphs with the help of some ClickSense. We have created by Tableau. We have come Looker is there. We have some micro strategy. Most of the this is not only a Power BI, is not only a reporting tool. We have Tableau. So we have some ClickSense. Okay, we have some for that Google Looker is also there. So there are many reporting tools are there. Excel's also with the help of Excel also you can create the visuals. But only thing is in Power BI you create more dynamic visuals, more interactive visuals. Okay, and everything for this you have many menu based options. You can give some buttons. There are many interesting features which are very user friendly. User friendly means the person who are not having any technical background, a person who belong to even science background, that user interface is very easy, and it is very easy to understand by a non-technical person. And the user interface also very easy from the client side, because if the client, if you don't have that much technical background, and if you train them for few days, and he will try to use the reports. That's why the number of the visuals, the easy way that you are going to create the visuals, and there is no coding for transformation. Also in the Power Query, you will not write any formula. Everything is menu based option. You will try to click for everything. You will click on the menu, but back end it will write the formula by itself in the Power Query. So this has promoted this tool as a low coding or no coding tool. That's why this tool has got demand in the market. Yes, even Tableau also one of the powerful tool. We cannot say that Power BI has not a demand in the market. But now, but this tool has launched in the 2000 when it is like 2017, 2017, 2018, 19. It was some dormant. In COVID pandemic, what most of the people are slowly, the Tableau projects are being migrated to the Power BI. Now, near about most of the companies, 7 to 1. The previous company that I am working, believe me, there are 97 projects you are migrating from Tableau to total Power BI. The client, we are working on the migration projects. Most of the companies, they are migrating from, because from the ClickSense, they have find some difficulties. Everyone has moved to Tableau. From the Tableau, they are doing a Power BI, it is becoming easy. So they are migrating to the Power BI. So that's why when you see some openings are some decreased for the Tableau, and it is increasing for the Power BI. And one more thing, it is a Microsoft product. After learning the Power BI, they are integrating. See, Excel, which was launched in here, your fathers, grandfathers have used the Excel, but still we are using the Excel, right? Why? It is a Microsoft product. It is a brand of Microsoft, and they will start new versions. They will launch. You can see the Excel, how many versions are launched. Everything they will try to innovate their tool. When you see when it was launched, if you 1 year back, if you see the Excel interface, somewhat they will try to add, constantly innovate their that Excel. That's why it is leading in the market. Based upon the market demand, they will try to change some changes in their tool. And one more thing, this Power BI, every month, this tool, at least 1 or 2 new features, some visuals, some new features will be added into the Power BI. You can go to the Microsoft and updates, what are the update in the last month. So this tool is constantly innovating. And as it is a Microsoft product, that's why the demand of the Power BI is there in the market. Okay. In the future, I am not saying that Power BI, if any efficient tool comes into the Power BI, it will take its place. But as it is a Microsoft product, they are constantly innovating this Power BI. That's why if you don't believe, even very small organizations are building the report for Power BI. And even you are surprised to see that Apollo Pharmacies, MedPlace, Sneha Chicken, these small organizations for analyzing this business at the pan India level, and they are using this Power BI reports. Forget about the major organizations like Amazon, Flipkart, or bigger, larger organizations. Even the small organizations, now they are, even you are working on medical representatives for smaller companies. They are forcing their employees to learn the Power BI. Okay, for the banking professionals, even I was very surprised. Some persons from CA background, who is a person, one of the person may working in the banking sector, or who is into profit side business. They are forcing them to learn the Power BI for the chartered accountants. They want to, because they have that access to the data. They have the access to the data, and every company will provide the data. So even providing the form of Excel in the data sharing, why can't you build a report? So in the previous student, one of my who have take from the Gujarat actually has not an online student. Actually, he took the recorded videos from the CA. He's into the private sector, and he is worked in an organizations, and he has access to the entire data. In the business class presentations, he have created a report which is of 24 pages and very dynamic. What are the features that we have explained, different option he has represented. So it has got a very good name for him, because everything the data he put it into the Power BI. You use that type of the practical knowledge you need to develop. Connect the data, he built the visuals, and he told the sensitive information, but he have added all the informations, the data, and he had shown the report. And I was really mesmerized by his presentation, like more than 26 pages that have built the report. And it has become like they have increased his package at, I can't say the figure at this point of time, but it has got a good name for him, because he is from the, actually that Power BI is not cup of his tea. Yes, they have given, like for his upskilling, they have told if you want to represent in the form of some visuals. Previously, they not even using the Excel. But this type of opportunities are there when you learn for the Power BI. It's not only learning the tools. If you apply it, you can use it in any sector. Okay. So visuals representing the meaningful information. It is in the form of bar graph. If I say it in the form of bar graph, if I suddenly say which is having the highest sales, you can suddenly pick up. You can say this is having the highest sales. If I want in the sales region, if I want in the Excel set, you need to read all the sales, North, Europe, Asia, and Middle. But if I represent in the graph, you can suddenly say this not based upon the size, you can say North America is having highest sales. That means if you're representing in the form of graphs, so the person by looking at the dash within the fraction of the seconds, he can say which is having the highest sales. So for your information, I've given the simple graph. So in the Power BI, what happens within the graph, you can apply some drill down and drill through features. You can analyze sales by country. If you drill down option, you can raise sales by region. In the same way, we can use sales by headquarters. You can see the sales by city. Within the one visual, you can try to represent, when you learn to the drill through concept, 24 visuals information we can represent in the form of only single visual by using the hierarchy concept. You can analyze the product category wise information, subcategory wise information. Okay. You can analyze the product wise information. In the product, which brand information is performing well. So within the single graph, by using some dynamic by buttons, by using the dynamic drill through concept, you can analyze instead of, if you want to same do in the Excel, you might have to draw, you might have to build 20 graphs. But if you want to do in the Power BI, within one graph, you can show it. Okay, that is the use of using the Power BI. Now, apart from that, you are saying, I'm said initially is that this Power BI is a data analysis software. First, you need to understand what is the data analysis process. So a person from the non-technical background also, he need to understand what is data analysis. Okay, recently for one of the interview, like KPM, they have asked for the freshers who is a 2-year person. Within this slide, they have asked 4 questions. They have asked what is OLTP. They have asked what is OLAP. They will ask as a data analysis, can you explain what is the data analysis process? Okay. For the for experienced person who are into 4 or 5 years, they will not ask these basic questions. But if you have a freshers that you are from 1 or 2 years experience, in order to test whether you are coming from fake experience, they will ask some technicality. See, what is data analysis mean? Now, the place where the companies will store their business data. We need to understand what is database. What is database or what is data source? It is a place. I am saying that I will use the word called data source means it is the place where organization will store their business data. Suppose you are attending my session, suppose 10 or people, some are attending, where I will store the data. For that, I will not buy a database and I will store in the SQL database. I will use simple Excel to store my data. But think that suppose if you like a cart like DMart or some Amazon, how many transactions will take place in within the single day in the pan India level? more than some lakhs of orders they will place. They will not store their data in Excel, right? Excel will store, if you store the data more than 50 lakhs, you will Excel get hang up. They will store the data in their database. So the place where organizations will store their business data, we call it as data source or database. So OLTP database means this is the organizations will the organizations will store their transaction data. If it is a small, they will store in Excel. If it is a large, they will store in the form of SQL Server. Online transactional processing, you will say. This data might be not be present in some organized format. Okay. And by applying some ETL tools, here you can see ETL means you will extract this data, you will transform the data. That means if the data is not in the organized format, or if the data is not in the structured format, you will apply some ETL process and convert this data into some organized data. So this data we call it as OLAP database. In the OLTP database, where the organization will store the data, from that you will apply some ETL transformation, and and you will store the information. This we call it as OLAP database. That OLAP database means online analytical processing. Okay. When you look at the reports now, with this OLAP database, you will connect while building the reports, while creating the reports. Maybe it is not recommended for a person to connect to this OLTP database. So if you directly given connect to the OLTP database, provide the client, and if you try to directly create the visuals, as the data cleaning, you have missed this ETL transformation, your visuals will go wrong. First, you need to clean your data. You need to convert your structured data and convert, and this data is called as OLAP database. To this OLAP database only, from this you will connect this OLAP and you will try to create the reports. And this from this report, this create the reports, and this report contains actionable information. What is meant by actionable information? The clients will use these reports in order to take their business action. That's why it is called as actionable information or some meaningful information. Once you create the reports, you will share the reports to the client, and client will use this information in order to optimize, in order to improvise his business. This entire process is called as data analysis. From OLTP, see, report performance will be good in OLTP or OLAP, because sometimes if unstructured data, if unrequired tables are not there, we'll try to remove the unstructured data or unrequired tables, and to this OLAP data bus will be connected. And that's why it is never recommended to create the reports directly on OLTP database, because the data is not cleaned. To move the data from OLTP to OLAP, from this all unstructured data to OLAP, we need some ETL softwares. We need to perform ETL process. Then only from that you will create the reports. From that you will share the reports to the client. So this process we call it as data analysis software, data analysis process. Okay. And simply I'm from the first class, I'm saying from the first slide, I'm saying what is structured data, what is unstructured data. So unstructured data means, suppose I have given, look, when you look at this simple example I will give, you have serial number, country, and sales information is there over here. Okay. Sales and country information. Now, let us see this. For country United States, you are saying the sales as 100. For US, 200. USA, for USA, you would say some, because for United States, some will write as United States, some will write as US, some will write as USA, some will write as U dot S dot A, some will write as United States of America. For United Kingdom, some will write as United Kingdom, some will write as UK, some will write as U dot K. And you are giving the sales. And I will connect this data, and if I will create the report. So you know this United States, US, USA, all these are only one country. But Power BI don't know, right? So when you connect this data, for everything, it will try to create the visuals and it will give the values. And without, and when you create, see, this is called as unstructured data. To connect the data in order to build the visuals, first you need to make the transformation. Hey, this is all for United States. For all 1 to 5 rows, for United, either you need to mention as USA, or for all 5, either you need to mention as U.SA, U.S.A, or United States of America. Okay. Then only, see, I have transformed the data. I know all these are United States only. So for R, everything I write as United States. This UK is also United Kingdom. I made it as United Kingdom. For all country, I have given one name. For United States, United States. For United Kingdom, United Kingdom. So the sales, and I will created the graph by connecting this data. Now I will get for United States, the sales is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 1500. And UK 200 plus 100, 300. So this is the correct data. So this is called a simple transformation. So if you come to OLTP database, if they are stored like this, you need to apply the ETL process by using Power Query. You need to transform the data and you need to collect this data and you need to create this type of meaningful information. Okay. So that is called as ETL process. Converting, if don't by blindly depend upon the data which is provided by the client. You need to make your data uniform. But in the real time, most of the projects, if they maintain in the databases in the SQL, the data will be uniform. But in some cases, if for the short-term projects where we depend on Excel, where some manual intervention is there, suppose you work for some internal projects like HR project, okay, the recruiting team, 7 recruiting personnel will be there. So they will be captured data in different format. But at the final end, they will say, hey, I want to create what are the recruitment happened in the last 1 year. First, you need to take the data from all the 6 recruiters. I need to mention the data in the same format and every column name and every values you should made in the uniform format. First, you need to prepare one common Excel from that all the 6 recruiter and you need to clean the data and from that you need to build the visuals. And you should not blame on the recruiting team. You have given the data, have built the visuals. As a ETL developer, first you need to see your data should be uniform. This is a simple example that I'm giving. But in the real time, if they connect to the database, like SQL, maintain the larger database, there will be not that much problem. Even a problem is there that you need to figure out that problems as a Power BI developer. Now, one more thing, see data analysis in the Power BI desktop. So I already said Power BI is not a single tool. It is the collection of the softwares. So in the right from the first the class, we will be discussing about in the Power BI, entire process will be revolving around Power BI desktop. See, this is the Power BI desktop. See, if I want to show how you can install the Power BI desktop, suppose already it is installed in my system, I will open Power BI desktop. See, how to installation process, I will explain you tomorrow. This is the Power BI desktop. Once I need to open, so I will try to explain. I will try to show your interface so that it will be easy. Once you install the Power BI desktop like this, it will open. Okay. Installation process, it will take 10 minutes. I will explain you. So first, if you click on this blank report, right? See, this is the Power BI desktop. It will open to you. And in the coming, if you join in this classes, in the coming 20, like 40 hours of the classes, we will be working on only this tool called as Power BI desktop. Okay. This is the center area. This is the center area where you will build the reports. Okay. Now I say let's start Power BI with the help of the tool that will connect to the data you are saying. How you will connect the data? Suppose my data is stored a Excel file which is stored in my desktop. How you will connect? So in the Power BI desktop, there is the option see Excel, some SQL database symbol is there. You need to click on this. See, these are the data sources. This much of the data source you can connect. Excel, Power BI, data flows, data sets, SQL Server you can connect, web, you can connect to the online link, Wikipedia link also you can connect. And you can click on more also, you can see lot of this other data. You can connect to PDF, you can connect to Oracle database, SAP, data flows, SQL database, Azure. So these are the like Microsoft Edge. See, these are the many data sources that you can connect by using the uh, from the get data. So first we will learn how to extract from Excel, simple Excel file. Click on this. See, I want to collect some Excel book. Click on Excel workbook. I want to connect to some any one table, EMP table or something. See, employment department table, which is stored in some downloads. I have this department table. I want to connect. How to connect? Just you need to, after entering, you need to select that name. Okay. When you click on open, what happened? The data will be loaded here. See, it is loading. Connecting means the data is loading. It is loading. Once it is loaded, what are the tables? What are the sheets which are present in that table, it will come over here. So it has department sheet, it has employee sheet. And if you want to see the data, hey, what is the there in the department sheet? You need to click on this department. See, it is having department ID. In Excel, it has 3 columns: department ID, department name, location. So I want to load the data, right? So first, if you want to load that Excel, you need to click on that. And you want to load the employee table also, employee sheet. Click on that. Once you click on it, it will show what is the data is present. In the employment sheet, it has employee name, job, manager, hire date, salary, commission, department number. These are the dates it is having. So now you have selected the sheet. This process is called extraction, connecting them from the Excel sheet. I will show you the Excel sheet in the download. It will have same data. After selecting, you need to click on this load. What happened? Load means ETL. Load means the data which is there in your download section in the local tab, it will get the data into your Power BI desktop. See, when I click on load, it is loading. The data will be loaded. See, it is loaded. The department employee which is there in the Excel, it is loading into your Power BI desktop. It is completed. Now you can ask a simple question. Say, I have loaded the data. Where I can find my data? See, this is the area you can find the data section is there. In this data section, you will find the data. This is the tables. That means Excel sheet you have, and you want to see what are the columns that are there in in that particular sheet. So you need to expand the button. See, in the department, you have department ID column, department name column, location column. In the employee table, you have this commission column, department number. These are the columns. So you have the table names, column name. Now you can ask me, so I'm able to see only table name and column name. I want to see what is the data present inside each column. How you can see? You can come to this table section. You have table view, right? The data which is there here, you can see in the table view. Click on table view. So if I open, click on this department table, see it has department ID, department location is there. If I want to see the employee data, open this, click on any one column. See, I have employee number, employee. This is the data, it is there. So that is called as table view. In the Power BI desktop, you have the first one, we call it as report view. Report view means from this is the area you can build the reports. Okay. Next one, we'll have visualization. So these are the graphs. With the help of the graphs that you can, these are the many graphs. With the help of this, you can create the visual. Okay. So this is the data which you are loaded. You can see in here in the data section. So if I want to connect one more Excel sheet, how you can connect to the Excel workbook. In the Excel workbook, suppose I'm sample superstore data, one data which is simple, it is there. Okay. Click on open. Right. I don't want to load all the tables. If I want to load only order table, select the table. The data which is present in that, it will be visible here. Load. Data will be loaded. It will show the loading. See, once how you can confirm it is loaded in your data, come to data section. In the data section, see the table is loaded. If you want to see what are the columns, you can see here. I want to see the data which is present inside. Come to the table view. Open any one of the column. Click on any one of the column. You see this in the order table. I have this data. Row ID, order date, ship date. Like this, you will find the data. Generally, this type of the interface will be there in the Power BI. Now you can ask me, I will create some very, very basic visuals to understand. See, you have data. With the data in the Power BI, you have these visuals. With these visuals, you will connect with this data and you will build the reports where you will build the reports here. And from that, you will save the reports and you will try to publish the reports and to some workspace that I will be discussed later. So if I want to create some basic visuals, so I want to create one pie chart. Okay. Suppose you have region column, region wise sales. So I want to create the pie chart. How you can create the visuals here? If I want to create pie chart, you need to click on this pie chart. Right. I want region wise sales. If you want region wise sales, select region. That's it. Region will be coming here. Sales. Select the sales. you will get the region wise sales data. Simple, the graph like this, you will get the graph. If you want to add the border, if you want to add some border or anything, if you want to format this visual. So once you select, there is middle button is there called as format. From this, you can make any changes, format your visual. So if you want to add the border in the format, you need to come to this general. Okay, in the general, there is an option called effects. From this, you can add some effects to your visuals. So I will open the effects and I will add, see, visual border. Border is not there previously. If I want to on the border is odd. So one graph is created. Like this, very simple that you can create the graphs by using this. And if you want to create some table visual, same region wise sales, here you have selected the pie chart, right? I've selected a table visual. So here region wise sales, I want category wise sales. This you can select the category, simple visuals I'm building category. And you have sales column, select the sales. See category by sales you got. Now you want the border. Don't go again to the format visual. Just select this. Select the format painter. Click on here. Automatically category by sales. Like this type of. And if you want to create region wise sales, segment wise sales if you want. So I want some donut chart. This is a donut chart. I want to prepare the donut, build the donut chart. Click on empty space. Click on one donut chart. Okay. I want segment wise sales. So click on segment. This is a segment. I want sales. The donut chart segment wise sales I got. I want to add the border. How you can add the border? Select any one visual where the border is there. Format painter. Click on it. You got this. Like the simple way that you can build the visuals if you have some basic idea. Now you can add some region slicers also it. So I want 3 visuals and I want to add one more bar chart. I will add simple bar chart. Okay. Like this is the bar chart. I will add any bar chart. Here also I will try to create the region wise sales or something. So why I'm explaining this, you need to understand how you can create the visuals. Here we'll discussing the Power U for 15 hours of the class. But today I want to show just the interface. So how we'll create the visuals at the basic understand and how you connect to the data. At least you will know some idea. Okay. So in this, I want to create the visual region by sales. I will take say region. It is here and sales I've selected. I got region by sales here. Okay, this to add this drop down, you will select this. Yeah. Select format painter. Right. How this is the visuals that you have created. Now let us add one slicer. Okay, one slicer visual. I will select this slicer. See? In this slicer, what I will do, I will select the region. For this slicer, I have selected this slicer visual. I will select the region. Fine. To this, if I want to add the border, select this, go to the format, add the border. Okay. So clear filter means no selection is there. Now, if the client want to see, we have 4 regions, this data. Now, if I click a slicer on central, what happens? All these visuals will show. It will show the central region sales only. It will show the segments of central region. It will show the only central region sales. It will also will show the central region value only. See, if I click on central, see the values will change. Central. See, region, it is only central. This value is also related to the central only. Okay, because it is a 18.2, 912.2. It is C. And it is what is the value? Sum of sales per region. This region is also graph is showing for central. This value is also 163 only. 501. It is total central value is 501. See, if you remove filter, the central region is 501, 239. If I remove this, see total the values are related. If it is a total is 22 something, but central is less. Okay, the values are changed. If I central of east, it is 0.43 million. If I select the east, the values you see here, it is 127 something. That means if you select this slicer, not only this, all the visuals which are pertaining to this east will all change dynamically. So that is the use of the Power BI, like using the slicer. It is not only work for if you have 20 visuals. So if I select for south, the only south region it is showing this. It's south region so 74.26. The south it is showing furniture 1.17 3 lakhs 91. South region sales is like this. Okay. If you want to add here labels, you can go to this sections and you can add data labels on. It will show the value 0.39 billion. Okay, like this, it will show your values. Like if you select on west, see all values are changing in the graphs related to the west. So like this, you can create some dynamic visuals by using the graphs which are there over here. You can use ribbon charts. And after the end of the class, I will touch what are the graphs which are there. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like 7, and it will having some 35, 7, 42 visuals that you can use by using connecting to the data. So this is how generally we create the reports. We are taking very simple data. While creating the reports, we'll connect to the live data and you will try to create the reports and you will go for alignment and see if I click on clear selection, it will give all the values. See, it is showing all regions. Every click, it is all the visuals are changing. Okay, this is how this is interactivity will be there in the Power BI. Okay, coming back to our this technicality over here. When you look at the Power BI, data analysis Power BI desktop, see, this is called as that what we downloaded here, we call it as Power BI desktop. And 95% of the work we will be depending upon this Power BI only. That's why Power BI desktop, we call it as developmental software. If you open this, we call it as Power BI desktop is called as developmental software because the report development will take place here. And once to install the Power BI, I already said Power BI 3 components. First component is called Power Query. That is nothing but it is a ETL software. That means if the data is unstructured data, from that you will make the structured data by using Power Query. See, if you want to go to Power Query, here also I can show it now only. Sir, where how can I can go to the Power Query means? Okay, in the you are in the Power BI desktop, right? You can come over here. Once you click on transform data, Power Query useful for transforming the data, right? Once you click on this transform data, you will go to one option called as this Power Query. This is Power Query. So in the first 15 hours of the class, we'll be discussing about the Power Query only. What are the different options are there? Each and every option in the home tab, this with the help of these options, you will try to work on convert unstructured data into structured data. Suppose if you are here in the transform data, suppose in the home tab, if I select this column, if you want to remove the column, you select the department ID. If I want to remove, the column is removed. And one step is added, removed column. Okay, like this type of the transformation we will be do in the Power Query. Okay, so this is called as in the Power BI desktop. When we study in the first majority of the classes, we'll be discussing about in the this Power Query. Okay, the transformation we will be doing in the ETL software. So what is converting of unstructured data in the structured data? In the first 15 hours of the class, we'll be dealing with Power Query. Next, within the Power BI desktop, you have Power Pivot. I already said, right? We have loaded the different type of the tables here, and we'll try to establish the relationship in the table. Here we have this model view. So we have different tables are there. In the between these two tables, we try to analyze the tables and establish the relationship between the tables. So that we will be studying in this Power Pivot, 15 hours of the classes. Next, Power View. Power View means already have said within the Power View, when you click on here, you have with the help of this Power Visualization, within the Power BI, you have one visualization software. With the help of you have created the visuals, right? Next 15 hours of the classes, we'll be dealing with the Power View. Okay, with the help of Power Query, we'll try to clean your data. With the help of Power Query, we will analyze the data and build the relationship between the tables. With the help of Power View, we will try to create the visuals. This process will be done by installing the Power BI desktop. This is the Power BI desktop. And the report development will takes place in the Power BI desktop. That's why Power BI desktop, we call it as developmental software. Now, see, your client has given the data. Suppose think this is the data given by the client. You have built the report. But the report is there, it is in my desktop. Now I want to share the client who is there in the US or something. How I can share the report? So in order to share the report, you need to publish the report, right? So here you can publish the report. In order to publish the report, you will publish the report in some cloud-based service. One cloud-based service where you can publish the report. One Azure cloud-based server, which is used to publish the report, is called as Power BI service. So this is an online cloud-based platform where the report developed by you will be published in some Azure-based cloud software that we call it as Power BI service. And 5 to 6 or more than 7 hours of the classes, we'll be discussing about Power BI service. How to give permission, how to refresh your reports, to whom you need to give the access, whether you want to give the viewer access, whether you want to give edit the report with a permission. So those type of access, permissions, refreshing your reports, okay, creating the apps. So there are so much of 20 to 30 topics will be there that we will be discussing in the Power BI service. So there are the 4 modules, which modules are there in the Power BI course. First module, Power Query. Second module is Power Pivot. Third module is Power View. Fourth module is Power BI service. And there is on-premise service is there, Power BI report service, where locally you will publish the report, but there is not recommended, nobody using this. In the Power BI also, we have Power BI mobile. That means it is a mobile app for viewing the report in the mobile also. In the mobile layout also, you will be you will view the report in the mobile in the form of a layout, mobile app that is called as Power BI mobile. So within the Power BI, Power BI desktop, we have Power BI service. In the Power BI, we have Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View. That's why the Power BI is the name. It is called as collection of the software. Now, what we have explained you entirely have represented in the form of here only Power BI architecture. So if you understand these slides and your duty of joining the today's demo is completed, every process it is there here. See, what is Power BI architecture? They will ask for the entire 2-year profession. Can you explain me Power BI architecture? This is a very common question for a freshers or 2 years experience person. What can you explain me the Power BI architecture? Right from connecting the source to publish the report to the client. What is the process generally it will follow? See, first, any client that you will suppose the blind client will approach you, they will store the data in data sources. The place where you store the data, business data, where the company store the business data, we call it as data source, or if they store in the database, we call it as database. If it is having the files are very low, that means if it is a small amount of the data, they will store in Excel. But if the data is very huge, contains lakhs and millions of rows, they will store in SQL Server or Oracle, some databases. So the client, they have stored in the data either in Excel or SQL Server. Now they will approach for you as a Power BI developer. What you will do as a Power BI developer, the client approach with some data, you will install Power BI desktop. This Power BI desktop you will install. Next, what you will do? You will connect to the data source. I've explained how to connect the data to Excel. So you will connect at the Excel. If it is SQL Server means they will give the credentials. They will give the credential, user ID, password. They will give username. You will enter that username and password. Then you will get access to their tables and you will load the tables. It's very simple. They will give the credentials. By using that credential, you can connect. And next, first what you will do by using Power Query. I have explained in the Power Query, right? By using the Power Query, you will make ETL process. That means you will clean the data. You will transform the data. If the data is not organized, you will do such ETL process by using the Power Query. Then after that, you will move the data into Power Pivot. In the Power Pivot, what you will do? Yes, you have loaded some 10 or 20 tables. You will try to see what are the common relationship between the tables and how to build the relationship between the tables. Those type of data analysis you will do. Tables, you will analyze the tables. What is the information is there? How I can link the different tables by using the common IDs. Those you will do by using the Power Pivot. And next one, you are clean your data, you have established the relationship, and you are good to go with your Power View. That means you can directly click the, by using these graphs, you can try to build the reports, Power View. That's easy. You can say directly, you can connect the Excel and you can skip the step, you can directly build the visuals, not a problem. But without cleaning the data, without establishing the relationship, you will build the visuals, that visuals will be utterly wrong. There is no meaning for it. That's why first you need to do the transformation. First you need to establish the relationship between the tables. You need to build the data model. Then only you need to come into the Power View and you need to build the reports. So these reports contain the actionable information. So you have to build the report. Next process, what you will do, you will publish the report, right? Because client has given the data. You have built the report by using the Power BI developer. You have built the reports and you need to publish somewhere, right? You need to publish in some cloud-based software. So Power BI service where you can build the report. And once you publish the reports in the Power BI service, you have published it. Now you need to give access, right? You need to share. From there, you need to share the reports, right? To whom you will share after publishing. You will share it to the client. Now client will use this, the report which is published in the Power BI service, and he will take some meaningful information and he will try to maximize his business profit. So this is called as Power BI architecture. Connecting the data, doing the transformation, establishing the relationship between the tables, building the visuals by using Power View, publishing the report in Power BI service, sharing to the report to the client. This is called as Power BI architecture. And your role will start from in every role that you will be as a Power BI developer. You need to get the credentials, you need to connect to the data. You need to clean the data, you need to build the relationship, you need to create the visuals, you need to publish this report, you need to maintain the workspace, you need to share the report to the client. So this is called as entire Power BI architecture. If I represent same in the graph, process is same. You will connect to the database, SQL, connecting the data source is the SQL or something. You will build the report. From that, you will publish in the cloud and you'll share the report. Client will use the report in the form of mobile, or you can use in laptop, you can use in iPad, everything he can use. That I have represented in the form of graph. Now, the simple questions are Tableau versus Power BI. This is a very important question there, sir. I am learned the Tableau. I am not getting the opportunities. Now, what is my next step? And all that the calls for the Tableau has been decreasing. And now I want to like, what is my next step? And what is the reason that the place of the Tableau was taken by Power BI? See, previously Power BI, we don't underestimate Tableau also. I am saying you are joined the Power Tableau is also one of the powerful tool, visualization tool. It has been the market leader for more than 15 or 20 years. But when the Power BI came, it position was taken by Power BI. But still many organizations are using the Tableau because 15 years you are using the Tableau and they are not interested to migrate because it is also cost incur, because you need to take the Power BI, you need to take the licensing, and you need to hire some team to convert all Tableau problems to Power BI, and they are being in the Tableau only. That's why all Tableau developers are not losing the job. I am not saying 100 out of 100 projects are moving to Power BI, but migration is happening very fast. And if the organization starting from new want to build the reports, they are directly going for Power BI. The reason is the first one, integration with the Microsoft system. Because in the Power BI, we can integrate the Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Azure, Microsoft SQL Server. You can integrate with the Microsoft products. That's why one of the tool, like one of the most important thing why the Power BI has taken place of the Tableau. Tableau also can integrate to the various data source, but for everything it needs some additional configuration. For this, it is a cost incurring. That is one of the thing. Next one, cost effectiveness. If you want to buy a product, same quality, same thing you are getting in low cost, which you will get. You are not compromising the quality. Both that there are two products, both are giving equal quality, but one price is low, one price is more. So Power BI generally cost compared to the Tableau. That's why people are migrating, because Tableau will be have some higher initial cost. Next one, ease of use, because in Power BI there is Power Query. There are menu based options that I have shown you, right? Hundreds of menu based option. Directly, if you have some normal English language, you can use that. You can use that menu based option. You can play with the data, and backend itself writing it's a code due to the presence of Power Query. So it is also user friendly, but some users are finding somewhat technical when compared to the Power BI. Ease of learning is very good that they are migrating to the Power BI. And next one, Power Query and transformation. I already said, right? For ETL software, we have Power Query, which is very powerful for making the transformation. This is one of the major thing that the Tableau products are being taken by Power BI. One natural language query. That means you have Copilot. You have in the coming visuals, I will say, give a bar chart for sales and region. I have created bar chart here, right? By using question and answer visuals, and you have even create a bar chart for sales and region. Just you give the command, it will create the bar chart and it will give you. I will explain you in coming class. You can give a command, create a bar chart for table showing category by sale. Just you type as a question and answer. It will directly build a visual for you. So those type of natural language query is very powerful in Power BI. Tableau is also there, but is not that much advanced when compared to Power BI. That's why this position has taken by weight. Security is governance. So as the data Power BI also, the data is very secured and we can store the data in Power BI Azure based cloud platform. So it is also security and governance is more, but for making some additional, it requires some additional configuration, which may require cost incurring when compared to Power BI. That is the reason the Tableau projects are being taken by Power BI. Real-time analytics. You can support some real-time data analytics you can do within fraction of seconds. Azure integration, I already said, right? Microsoft, with the help of Microsoft, you can connect to Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Azure, Microsoft SQL Server. Those integration is very easy because already Power BI and Azure both are Microsoft products. And one more is community learning and resource. If you have a stuck somewhere while building Power BI report and you have a Power BI community within the, you have a Power BI community, if you type some questions, so I have some problem with this. So in that Power BI community, they have some many users, thousands of users, they will give different ways of answer for your problem. A community, if you post your doubts, if you post somewhere you are stuck in the project, if you want some new features which are added to the Power BI, you can post in the community. Somewhere somebody will reply to your answers based on about the latest developments. What are the alternate ways where you can fix that errors? Okay, that is very active. That community and learning is very active in case of Power BI. But in case of this, it has a vibrant community is there, but it is not that much active when compared to that of the Tableau, compared to Power BI. Updates and innovation. This is the last step, but I need to keep as a first point. Reason being, Power BI is updating month by month. It is updating very new features. At least it will updating some way. It is making the changes in the tool. That's why That's why it is copying the competition. Okay. So what is the problem? It's if this product is taken by other company, if you build one tool and you are not updating yourself, then somewhere some tool will take your advantages. But this Microsoft is very cleverly what type of the innovation that I can improve for my Power BI to at least add some advanced feature that will become very easy for the Power BI developer or for the client side. It is innovating this tool. That's why Excel, the Microsoft products which are launched 50, 100 years ago, still it is there in the market because they are updating and innovating. Here you also, if you join in a software company, if you don't update to the marketing, if you learn Tableau or if you learn MicroStrategy, if I don't want to learn the Power BI upskill, what is your next step? Suppose if you lost the day of happen in the Tableau, you are not ready in the Power BI, not learn. Some people who are having the knowledge on Power BI will take your job. Okay, such type of some updates, and you should be update along with the innovation which are taking place in the market. So these are the coding, like I already said, why there is a demand for Power BI. Very demand tool in the market. Job opportunities are there. No prior coding knowledge is required. Only in the one DAX it is there. Power Pivot there the coding is there. But I discuss very detail in that because we will not write, but we will not mug or buttify that code. based on scenario, how we'll write the DAX code, I will explain you. That is the only toughest part. Tough means out of 90% is easy. This 10% you need to apply some knowledge. If the person is having some Excel knowledge, it is advantageous. If they don't have an Excel, not a problem. I will start from the basics. But we will not compromise on DAX and data model. That section where the people feels the difficulty, and will take additional classes for them so that you will become the expertise on that. So low coding, because it is very easy for a person within the 2 months you can learn the tool and you can shift your careers as a 4+ or 5+ years of experience. Okay, the batch timing I will try to create a full. What is the for the SQLs also? What is the Power BI developer? Those who want for the SQL that much needed, I will explain. And if you want to learn the SQL along with it, and I will provide the recordings for the SQL by the expertise who has knowledge on that. So you can go to the recordings, and if you want to get the Power BI plus SQLs also, I will provide that. Okay, but Power BI end to end, and what is required for Power BI, I will explain the SQL. And if you want to learn the SQL and courses, and I will provide the recording session for the SQL also, so that you can go through that. And one more thing is Power BI is only required for that, for getting the job bench. Learn Power BI. Nowadays, they are also asking some questions on SQL. Out of 10 questions, at least they are asking 2 questions on SQL. So at least a basic SQL, what is required for data analysis. As a Power BI developer, I don't want to learn about the development part of the SQL. As a Power BI developer, how much SQL is needed, how to connect the data, how to query the data, how to write some views, how to extract the data, how to work on DML and DDL command, and how to validate your records from the data. So those type of the knowledge should be necessary nowadays. They're asking, they're mentioning in the report like job description, Power BI plus SQL is advantageous. And apart from that, if you want to add in the coming of you join Power BI plus SQL, if you learned and you got the job, and after 1 or 2 years, if you want to add some cloud knowledge like Azure, it will be very advantageous for you, because everything is going to cloud. If you add a cloud experience like Azure, and it will be very advantageous for you. And if you want to sustain in the market for, if you want to demand high package, like 100% hike, like from suppose of 10, you want to demand very high, and take 2 or 3 years, take a 3-year timeline. And if you add Python also, then it will be also very, very good combination. Power BI per SQL is mandatory. SQL required for Power BI, I'm saying. SQL means don't go and entire database how to, for Power BI developer, how much SQL is needed, learn that SQL. Power BI plus SQL, you get the job. And the time frame, you try to add Azure and Python. If it is not Rust, like within the 1 year only, if you want to add Azure and Python, not like that. You do the job first, get the join in the company and try to upskill. Because even I have learned from this Azure and Python, I'm still upskilling on Power Automate and Power Apps also. Why means, if the calls will be more, like if I'm getting 10 class, if they're adding, I have basic knowledge on Python, if you say, then it will be very easy for them, so that I can recruit them. Don't only will not act as a Python developer, but some writing Python script, if it is there, it will be easy. So for them, if you go to the higher position like team lead, you have learned for 5 years, after 5+ experience, and you can don't say that I am only Power BI developer. If you add, it will be useful for you. Suppose if you go to the higher positions, if you had some skill set, there is no rush. Power BI SQL is mandatory, but Azure plus Python, if you add, it will be added advantage for you yourself. Okay. So the batch timings will be 7 to 9. So from next week, we'll be starting the regular classes from next Saturday. And if you have I'm ending the session. Like if you have any doubts, that you can ask me. So I will stop this recording session. Yeah.